Hey everyone, I'm back. Erica Desper of Confident Parenting, and I'm answering your questions. Mom wants to know, is it necessary to night wean prior to sleep training a 12-month-old who still nurses overnight for comfort? So no, you do not have to. It depends really on how long you want the overall learning process to take. So I'm assuming just from what you've described in your question that you have both maybe bedtime changes that you want to make and then overnight changes that you want to make. You could choose to make the bedtime changes only, maybe instead of nursing to sleep at bedtime. The first phase of your plan is that you are working on helping your 12-month-old fall asleep at the beginning of the night in a new way without the nursing. Maybe you're rocking to sleep, maybe you're putting her down and walking away and popping back in, whatever it is that you choose to do. And all the while, once she's asleep, practice is done, and each time she wakes up, you're just going to nurse as she expects and as per usual. I know from your other question that she shares a room with her brother, and that's a concern of yours. So that would be a path that would allow you to make progress, make headway at bedtime in terms of her ability and her skills and what she attaches sleep to in her own mind, but also would allow you to keep it quiet for her sibling who shares the room. However, what's probably going to happen is that you will make progress at bedtime. I can't guarantee there will be too much carryover in terms of her overnight behavior. You may say, well, she's doing great at bedtime, but it hasn't impacted the overnight at all. She's still waking just as often as she was. She's still nursing just as often as she was for comfort. Because honestly, if it's an option in her mind, why wouldn't she? That's probably how she perceives it. So yes, you could split it up and you could not address the night weaning, but that may not be your final step. You may basically be saving a similar process that needs to happen in the middle of the night. So if that's okay with you, when I'm working with a family, that's okay with me, but you do have to ask yourself, how long of a process are we up for? And in the end of all this, will we feel disappointed or discouraged that we didn't just sort of tackle it all together? Because your other option would be to say, we're going to make bedtime changes and overnight changes at the same time. And we're going to help her realize we don't nurse to sleep. We also do not nurse back to sleep. I will help you back to sleep maybe, but in a different way that's not nursing. Or I'm going to give you some time and space to learn how to fall to sleep and back to sleep by yourself. Now, that would not keep things as quiet for her brother. And in another video, I'll talk about that. You could choose to separate them temporarily if that would help you see this through and to be consistent. My only concern with splitting it up, let's say bedtime changes only and nursing back to sleep overnight, would be that where she is in terms of her brain development at 12 months, she's starting to head into that toddler stage, and toddlers are fairly black and white. They don't have a lot of room for gray area like we do as adults. So let's say you're trying to make bedtime progress with her while maintaining overnight comfort feeds. That's okay, but will it be okay from her point of view is the question. And her temperament is going to really be the dictator of that, not what you or I think is okay. It's not really up to us. Meaning, will she be able to make sense of the fact that she can't go to sleep the way she wants in one place, but she can go back to sleep the way that she wants and she's used to in all these other places. So even though doing it all at once sometimes feels a little more intense and overwhelming for families, for kids that are 1 year and up, in my experience, it often makes a lot more sense from their point of view. Plus, it gets us out of the entire process, a whole lot faster. So my long answer to your very short question, as usual, you do not have to night wean prior to sleep training, but you may want to consider them doing them at the same time if you know that you have the temperament of child who tends to, see a little opening and kind of dig at it. And you know the kind of child that I mean. You mentioned in another question that she has a feisty personality, or temperament is probably a better word. And that's awesome. That will serve her well in many other areas of life and in the future, but it will not probably serve you guys well while you're trying to make these changes. So when parents are choosing which strategies to use and then how long of a time to spread them over, I obviously want you as a parent to start the way that you feel comfortable approaching it. However, I do also suggest that you factor in your child's temperament. If you know that she's an all or nothing kind of kid and that some things don't make sense to her, or if something doesn't seem fair, she's going to kind of lose her mind, then that may require sort of more of an all or nothing approach to make sure that you can get to where you need to be. But it's not in all cases that we would need to eliminate night feeds along with the other changes that we're making. So I would think about who she is and how long you want it to take overall. And hopefully that will guide you to make your decision. If you need help with that, come find me. For anybody else watching that needs one-on-one support with sleep struggles or potty training struggles, I help with that. So come find me too. You can learn more at beaconfidentparent.com. And if you have a question that you would like answered, please feel free to send it to me. I'll be back to answer some more soon. Thanks for watching, guys.